All right. Last time we left off on the self-test. So I'm going to try to get us back there. I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of what we were working on last time. Now the million-dollar question is, can I find it?
Hey, Doc, so the upcoming test will be chapters 9, 10, 11, 12?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that due like next Sunday or something?
Sure. I think so.
Sure, okay.
And in answer to your other question, we have a master class on April 12th, but that's the guy from CSU East Bay, and I believe the other one's going to be the 19th.
Okay.
Is that going to be all right?
Yeah, that should be fine.
All right. Where are you working?
I'm a cashier. And yeah, long story, but it should be fine.
Okay. All right, let's hop in here. So last time we were looking at self-test 13.1, and we were on this theme and variation example by Mozart. I did not share my audio with you, so let me try that again. I'm going to go to desktop, that way you can see. This is the work that we got done. Does that work right there? Bye. Oh, you're not leaving.
Self-test 13.1A5.
Ah, what a great piece. Okay, so we analyzed the theme, but we did not analyze anything else. Now, all the harmonies are the same. So we got to go in and find the non-chord tones in the variation. You think we can do that? Are those non-chord tones? Is this right? No one's objecting. Doesn't mean it's right. What is it when we step up and leap in the opposite direction?
Is this an escape?
Is that right? It's been a wee while, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Have a screenshot of it.
Me too. On Instagram. Yes, those are escape tones. So I guess, technically, should it be that? Is that how we'd bracket it? It's always fun coming back Monday, isn't it? Trying to remember what the heck we did.
And you just did a bunch of the chapter 12 workbook and forgot about chapter
Yeah.
13.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Their second tone is a chord tone, but ours is not. They make the point of saying all the escape tones cited in this section have been short, unaccented, and diatonic. That's all they give us for escape tones. All right. Back to our example here. So we're calling this an escape tone. That is not a pencil. Passing tone, passing tone. Another escape tone. Bueller. Here's an interesting one. What are we going to call that?
That would be passing, right? Because it's going up stepwise.
Well,
Even though
it's chromatic there.
it's not a step.
It's a leap.
The leap.
Oh,
Very small.
my bad. I'm sorry. My brain's not working quite yet.
Mine either.
We need a jump start.
Say again?
I said we all need a jump start.
But it's not technically a leap, though, is it?
Is it an appoggiatura?
It's an appoggiatura with an accent, but we got some others wrong. They call it an appoggiatura rather than a passing tone because of the effect of the augmented second. So, they're calling it an app. Now back on what we were calling an escape tone, they're not calling an escape tone. They're calling it a neighbor group.
I was just going to say that.
Why is it a neighbor group? What's our definition of neighbor group?
It's a group. On the screenshot, it says see neighbor groups, and I've never done it.
Yeah, and on page 207 where it tells you to go, it says a common method of embellishing a single tone involves a combination of two NCTs in succession. The first being an escape tone, the second an appoggiatura. The figure is referred to as a neighbor group. Remember we had that example? And they said it was like this. You're just putting one before the other.
I'm confused. Can you explain the neighbor group again?
Sure. The neighbor group is two NCTs combined together. The first is an escape tone. And our definition of an escape tone is that it is approached by step, left by leap in opposite direction, which clearly we have. An appoggiatura's definition is approached by leap, left by step. So if I was to annotate all that in blue, from here to here we have an appoggiatura, and from here to here we have an escape tone. So the love child of the two is called a neighbor group. Does that work? So we have two of those. All right. Now, an appoggiatura, it's just a leap by a step. It doesn't have to be in different directions. So we have an appoggiatura here, and we have an appoggiatura here as well. Does everybody see it? That A sharp does not belong to our sixth chord, nor does the C sharp. Are we okay with all that? What is that?
Can you perhaps make it bigger?
I could try, but it's probably going to mess up. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's going to mess up all the...
Hmm. Thanks for trying, though.
Okay, what do we have right here? Measure 15. It's very peculiar. Like if you got to look at four notes, right? You got to look at the first note, which is a chord tone, to see how it moves and how far it moves. So here it moves a step to the non-chord tone. Then we have a leap to the non-chord tone, which is our definition of an escape tone. And then we have a step in the opposite direction, which means we also have an appoggiatura in there, which makes the whole thing
Neighbor group.
a neighbor group. So you really got to look at all four notes, not just the three. Does that make sense? The accidentals are really kind of a, hey, red flag, I'm probably a non-chord tone. I have to be. I don't belong in the key. Does everyone see that? What are all those?
Is the first one an escape tone? Because the G and the E and all that are in the chord. Or is it another neighbor group?
No,
Neither.
neither.
Okay.
That's a weird word, neither. I always say neither, but my wife definitely says neither.
I'll do either. Maybe I'll go somewhere in the middle, like neither.
Okay, what is it? They call them three
Is another app?
appoggiaturas in a row.
Is it an app available on the App Store or Google Play?
Only on the App Store. Three appoggiaturas?
Wait, Doc, I thought so for Apoggiaturas, I thought it was a leap and a step in the same direction.
No,
But no, it's not because I
it's
thought
not.
escape tones were. Oh wait, I'm reading that backwards. Never mind.
It's just a leap and a step. It can be in any
Yep.
direction.
Sorry, I was reading escape tone backwards. I was like, oh, it's a leap and then a step in the opposite direction. No, I had that backwards. My
Okay.
bad.
Are we all right so far? All right, in the last measure, find all the non-chord tones. Ready, go. Well, the second to last measure. There are three. Which ones do you know for sure are... Can I clear everything that we've done so far and then make this bigger?
Please.
Please.
Is it really small? It takes up a fourth of my screen. How's that?
Yeah, it takes up like a tenth of our screens. There we go.
You guys must have gigantic screens. All right, we're in this measure right here. We pretty much know for certain that the accidental is going to be a NCT. Is that true? What are we calling it?
It's an appoggiatura.
Good.
Isn't it a neighbor group?
Why would you say that?
Because the partitura right next to an escape tone.
What's the definition of an escape tone?
A step and then a leap in the opposite direction.
So I'm not seeing the step. Oh, you're trying to say you're
The A sharp to the B, and then the jump to the G.
saying this.
Yeah.
Interesting. They're saying this. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So we have the leap and then the step in the opposite direction first. So they're calling it an appoggiatura.
I don't
Are you okay with that?
understand how.
Say again?
Could you go over neighbor tones, the neighbor groups again then? Because I
Sure.
don't see. Yeah.
On page 207, they give us the definition of a neighbor group. And it says, a common method of embellishing a single tone involves a combination of two NCTs. Let's go there. I want you to be able to see it. See if that helps. In succession, the first being an escape tone, the second an appoggiatura. The figure is referred to as a neighbor group, also called a cambiata or changing tones. As example 3-4 illustrates, the neighbor group bears resemblance to a neighboring tone figure. So really, you have to take all four notes into consideration. Step, skip, step in the opposite direction.
No, it's just I thought it was appoggiatura first and then escape tone, but this is saying escape tone first and then the appoggiatura. Cool.
Yes. No, maybe so. Well, it's overlapping, right? So we could call this an escape tone because we have the step and the skip. And we could call this an appoggiatura because we have the leap and the step and the step and the leap and the step, and it doesn't matter direction. So they're all thrown in there together.
They all have to be NTCs or NCTs.
You have to have two NCTs for it to be a neighbor group. It's a combination of two NCTs in succession. Boom, boom. So we have two bracketed notes in a row.
Well, oh.
With me?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
So going back, so we don't have a neighbor group here because we only have one NCT. What's this NCT?
A passing tone.
Passing tone. Good. Now there's one more NCT in this measure. Can you find it?
Is it the F?
It is the F. Is that what you said?
Yes,
Which one?
the second one.
Good. What's it called?
Suspension?
Say again?
Suspension? Oh no, step up. Retardation.
Retardation. Good. Good job. So the retardation is approached by the same note left by a step up. Okay, now in our last measure, we have a bunch of stuff going on. This is a 1 chord in D major. So we know this C sharp doesn't belong. We know this G doesn't belong. And we know this E doesn't belong.
It,
E is a suspension, I believe.
The G, okay, what number?
Both the E and the G. The G would be 4/3. The E would be 9/8.
Good. And the C sharp?
Retardation.
It is. Now they have an asterisk by their 4/3 that says this could also be labeled as an appoggiatura. The suspension analysis assumes that the G was prepared in the higher octave in the 5/7 chord. They're saying that this prepared that. And that's why they're analyzing it as a 4/3 suspension. Are we okay with that?
is that a passing 6/4?
It is. Yep. Good. Can I clear my screen? All right. That takes us to NCTs and Jazz. Here we go. Skylark by Carmichael.
Self-test 13-1A6.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love can be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed?
They skipped the repeat. Budget restraints. Could only afford 8 measures.
They could have simply just.
Redubbed her over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder how the union looks at that. All right. They told us to be on the lookout for inharmonic spellings. E flat 6 calls for an E flat major triad with an added note, a major sixth above the root, which would be
The thing again.
what?
What did you say?
I said E flat 6, lead sheet symbol, calls for a sixth above the root to be added, which is what note?
See?
C. So technically, what is that?
It's just a C minor 7, right? Technically, inversion. Or is that not what you're asking?
No, I'm asking what kind of a non-chord tone is that? Is it a non-chord tone?
If it's in the chord already, it's not, right?
So they're saying it's an E flat triad with an added note, a major 6 above the root. Right? Isn't this fun?
Ouija.
Yeah. So I think what they're saying is that the jazzers mark their non-chord tones with Arabic numbers sometimes. I don't know why they're saying inharmonic spelling, so that's confusing to me. I guess they're not calling that a suspension or non-chord tone. But they're kind of referring to it as a non-chord tone when they say E flat major triad with an added note of major 6th. Yeah? Let's listen one more time.
Self-test 13-1A6.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love can be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed?
These are hard. These are really hard. In jazz, it makes it really hard. Okay, what key are we in?
I think E flat.
Okay. So, if we analyze this in E flat, right? Just plugging in what they've given us. Do we need that little M there? Guess we don't. Ooh. I hate Zoom. What do we have here in measure 6?
Be a 2,
It's
right?
like it's
Capital 2.
Yeah. All right, what the devil is that?
Three diminished. 7.
a passing chord.
Well, it tells us that we definitely have an on-chord tone, doesn't it? Oh, come on, computer. There we go. We're in E-flat major. Okay. Let's find our non-chord tones. Are you ready? There are 8 of them in this example. Does anybody see any of them?
The C in measure 2.
C in measure 2. Nice job. What is it?
I think it's a suspension.
It is indeed.
At least it's that instead of an explosion.
So 4/3, right? Is that what we're calling it? Okay. Any others?
D, right? Same measure.
D. Right here. What are you calling that?
Passing.
Good. There are actually 2 more non-chord tones in measure 2.
Would the B after the C be an on-chord tone?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yes. What is it?
I believe that's a passing tone.
Nice job. Because our chord is A flat C, E flat G.
E flat.
This E flat. Yes. What are you going to call that?
Partitura.
Yes. It's an unaccented appoggiatura. Does everybody see that E flat does not belong to our G, B flat, D, F chord? Good. Measure 3, we're hanging out on a G the whole time, and G belongs to both of those chords. True story? No NCTs. On we go. We have A flat major 7, G minor 7, C minor 7.
The G.
The G belongs because it's the major 7th over A flat major. So
Oh.
G's all right. The F, however, has no business in that chord. The C does. The B flat belongs to that chord. The G belongs to that chord. The E flat belongs to that chord. The C belongs to that chord. So that's our only NCT in this example. Approached by step, left by leap.
I believe that would be escape tone.
That's our escape tone. Good job. All right, measure 5. E flat is the 7th of that chord, so that's kosher. Here we go. E flat belongs, F. Does that belong? Yeah, that belongs. E flat belongs. However, they're calling this a non-chord tone. Why would they do that?
It's major instead of minor.
But still, it's in this F, isn't it? That's strange to me. They're calling that an accented escape tone. No, they're not. They're calling it an upper neighbor.
Oh, yeah. Because it's going up and back.
You can only wait.
But
You
I
now
still don't get why is the F
I don't either.
Yeah, because it's an F chord.
I think that's a mistake.
Is McGraw-Hill watching?
I hope. Hope they bring me on as an editor. I don't see that as a non-chord tone. Am I missing something? Is there another F? I don't see it.
I think you're correct.
I see it kind of as an embellishment, but I don't see it as a non-chord tone. All right, B flat, D, F, A flat. D, A flat, C, D. What is that? Leap, step,
Pasha Twitter?
agitatura. All right, we made it to measure 7. We've got an E flat, which belongs. We got a G, which belongs. We got a B flat, which belongs. And we got an E flat, which all belong. No non-chord tones there. Then we have this funky chord, which we can't even analyze.
That's just a 3 diminished 7, right? Lowercase.
Well, yeah, it would be a lowered 3, right? Because normally our 3 is minor, yes? And that D flat does not belong in that 3 chord, right?
Isn't it just a D natural?
Yep. And that D does not belong in that 3 diminished 7 chord, right? So what are those?
Is that a neighbor?
Nope, they're passing tones.
No.
Because the neighbor has to go the opposite direction. And these go stepwise. Right?
Oh, okay. I see it. Thank
You
you.
have to cluster around the main note, right? The E flat.
Say again.
So they have to go up to an F to be a neighbor group.
The first one.
Right.
It would have to go to an F and then go the opposite direction back to the E flat to be a neighbor tone. You with me? Yeah, but we have 3 stepping stones in a row. 3 stepping stones in a row. Those are passing tones. Here we have F minor, F, A flat, C, and that B flat is not belong in F minor 7. What are we calling that?
Is it a suspension?
It's not. Because in order to have a suspension, we have to have the same tone that steps down, and it is just one note and doesn't go anywhere. Knock, knock. Who's there? Interrupting moo. Interrupting cow. Interrupting cow. Moo. Aunt Joni's here. It's an anticipation. Yeah? And because we're good musicians, we know that this is an unprepared anticipation. Well, that was fun. I mean, painful. We made it, though. Can I clear my screen? Okay. Following example is for 3-part chorus. Analyze the chords using Roman numerals. Then add the specified non-chord tones as the points indicated. Show the interval classification of each suspension. All right. Here we go. What key are we in?
From the look of it and the sound of it, it sounds like we're in F major.
We are in F major. Ready, go, analyze. It's not rocket science. They're not trying to trick you. What do we got?
The first chord is a 1 chord,
1 chord.
and then I believe it's woo. Second one, it's E, C, G. That would be. It's a 5 chord, a 5/6.
Excellent. Then
It's
say
the
again.
1.
Yep, 1 chord. Then C, E, G. We've seen that before. Five chord. Now we've got a D, and an F, and a B flat.
Well, with the B flat, it would be a 4.
Is it a 4/6?
I think it is a 4 here, but that B flat actually doesn't belong to the chord here. We just have a D and an F. So how are we going to analyze that?
6.
That's a 1.
It can't be a 1 because we need an F, A, C, and we've got a D and an F. We could analyze it as a 6, like Ethan suggested. We're just missing our A. Is that right? All right, here we go. G, B flat, E flat.
That would be a minor second.
If it was a minor second, we would need a G, a B flat, and a D, which we don't get.
Oh, that's an E. My bad. I saw that wrong. That would be. Oh,
Is that a 7?
It is a 7.
7/6.
Yep. Does everybody see that? Going to a 1 chord, right? Are we all right with that? All right, now we got to put in these NCTs that they want. They want a oh, wow. This is fun. All right. Escape tone, what do we got to do?
Approach by step and leave by leap, right?
Yeah, approach by step, left by leap. So
B
go up
flat.
to the B flat. Some suspension here. Means we have to have an F here, right? Because it's got to be approached by the same tone. All right, go ahead.
I was so irritated doing that during the workbook because if when we did that, the notes didn't line up correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, my OCD is going like, what? That's not legal. At least in 48 states. All right, we need a chromatic passing tone. Right here, yeah? What's that chromatic passing tone going to be?
An E?
I think they want it in the tenor part.
So it'd be A flat, then?
A flat.
Because when it's going down, you label it as a flat, huh? Rather than a D sharp.
Well, I think you might also consider key as a flat. Right? F major is a flat key. All right, they want another one in the bass part.
for chromatic passing up, wouldn't it be D flat or C sharp?
Yeah, here they go to a C sharp.
I mean, D flat and C sharp are the same note, so.
All right, they want a suspension up here.
So you just hold on to that F before it, right?
Yeah,
Once again, OCD.
yeah. And it's tied. They want another one here, so we're going to hold on to the E.
So it has to be held for it to be defined as a suspension.
You're asking, does it have to be tied?
Yeah,
I
basically.
don't think so. I don't think it has to be. I don't know. That's a great question. I wouldn't think that it would have to be. But it could be. Let's see what the all-knowing book says, and then let's go to Canada.
Nickelback country.
If you're saying that the book is all-knowing, then you're implying that Canada is higher than all-knowing,
That's right.
which is logically impossible, but somehow still cool.
According to our book's definition, the suspension holds onto or suspends a chord tone after the other parts have moved on to the next chord. Suspensions almost always fall on accented beats or accented portions of beats. The suspension itself may or may not be tied to its preparation. Yes, I got one right. Cool. All right, we are on third measure, bass. They want a passing tone. No problem. I can fill in those notes very easily. They're just stepping stones. We're going to make a strawberry out of an apple. Does everybody see what I did there? Made 2/16 out of an eighth. All right, in anticipation, we're going to get there a little bit early. I was going to make it that. The book did this. Made it an dotted eighth and a 16th. Okay, suspension.
B flat.
Need the B flat there. Before the A. And that is a what number to what number? F to B flat is a
It's a 4/3.
good.
I was waiting for Timmy to yell out the answer.
Yeah. Timmy's all tuckered out. All right, we got to go back and do our other suspensions. What kind of a suspension do we have here?
Is it a 2/3?
It is a 2/3. How do we figure that out? How did you get that, Pete?
Because it's the only one that was offered in the book. That when
That goes. Say that again.
bass suspension. It was the only one in the book that was offered. I didn't analyze it.
So what we have to do there. How do we come up with that 2/3? So this is the non-chord tone, this F, right?
Does it have to do with the G?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
How'd you get the G though?
Because the F is the second away from the G, and the E is a third away from the G.
Right. I get that.
I just don't see how any other way the number 2, 3 could be applied.
Right. Right.
This is one of those weird examples they talked about when it's in the bass, right? Example 12-14 summarizes the common suspensions. Notice that the second number is larger than the first only in the 2/3 suspension, a type sometimes referred to as a bass suspension. In textures involving more than two parts, the vertical intervals are calculated between the bass and the suspended part. If the bass itself is suspended, the interval is calculated between the bass and the part with which it is most dissonant, generally a second or ninth above in a 2/3 suspension. With the exception of the 9/8 suspension, a note of resolution should not be present anywhere in the texture when a suspension occurs.
So it wouldn't be analyzed against the C because it's not dissonant.
Yeah, right. You find the most dissonant note, which is the F and the G. So that's how we got 2-3. Tricky. Gotta watch out for those bass 2-3 suspensions. All right. We've got a 4-3 here, don't we? Okay, what about this one? This is ugly.
Which one? Oh, okay. I lost your mouse.
That one. We have an E above our D, and then we have a D above a B flat. And and then we have that A passing tone in there.
Isn't it just a 2-3?
It's not.
4-3.
It's not.
Since we're going up, would it be a 7-6?
It's not.
Well, there's only one left.
What is it?
That makes sense because
9-8.
It's not.
it's 7 something here. Is it 7 something?
It's not. We got to go back and read something. Where did we talk about this? This was something special. This is what we refer to as a suspension with a change of bass. Right? Do you remember that? All right. D to E is what? What kind of an interval?
Second.
It's a second, but in this case, it's displaced by an octave, so we're going to call it a 9. And then we have a D over a B flat.
3.
It's a 9-3 suspension. Do you remember talking about those?
Wasn't it the Southwest Corn something?
The what?
It had an acronym. I forgot what it was.
Suspension with changing bass. Suspension with change of bass. The Southwest Cobb.
That's what it was.
Yep. So they pulled all the stops out here. Let's listen to what this sounds like. Wow, that was a little much.
It's not going to hit any pop charts.
Yeah, no.
It's too interesting.
Okay. Clearing my screen, going on. Next is a reduction of Mozart K330. Third movement. What? That's a big reduction. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so some of you might recognize that from the Horowitz concert report assignment you just did. So they want us to elaborate this and employ non-chord tones. And I think this is a bogus assignment because I'm just going to score the original because I already know the original. So if we did what Mozart did, put in a little passing tone there. So the book's really lame, and they just put the original Mozart example in the back. All right. I'm going to skip that. Are we okay with that? Are there any questions about what's going on in your workbook? Did we go over your workbook assignment? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't remember either.
Okay. I thought we went over at least part of it because we start on it. So first page, non-chord tones. We're embellishing one-to-one counterpoint.
Doc, I don't mean to interrupt, but I thought we were done with the Chapter 12 workbook because we turned it in this weekend.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too. Did we turn it in this weekend?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're done. So we just need to review now for our test. Now, I told you that this test was all online, right? It's all multiple choice. How does that make you feel? It's been very interesting watching Canada do multiple choice tests and how they've been creative in doing it. So I've tried to emulate them a little bit. So we got to go all the way back to chapter 9. Do you even remember chapter 9? That was the first chapter this semester, way back when in August, January, whenever we started this semester, January.
Was that second inversion?
Triads and second inversion. Yeah. Do you remember this? Sophia Ruby says she's still there. Well, then you're going to be a pro star at the cadential 6/4 chord and the bass arpeggiation. The passing 6/4 chord and the pedal 6/4 chord. You remember all this? Let me pull up the test so I can have a little look-see at it. Where would that be? Assignments. Exams. I'm going to preview it. Okay. So, passing 6/4 chords. What do you remember?
They take the, I think the third and the fifth and raise them. There's another one.
No, you're right. Well, there's two types of chords that are most frequently used as passing 6/4 chords. Do you remember what they are? There's two Roman numeral types. Go ahead.
Was it 5 and 1?
5 and 1. Yeah.
With 4 being the odd one out.
5/6/4 and 1/6/4 are the two most commonly found types of 6/4 chords. They have parallel sixths between the soprano and the bass, and they have voice exchanges. Do we remember this at all? So you need to remember that for the exam. I can guarantee you that. So the 6/4 chords happen for 3 reasons. 4 reasons? Why do they happen?
Make it more interesting.
Definitely. So we've got bass arpeggiation and the melodic bass. We have the cadential 6/4 chord. We have the passing 6/4 chord. What's the other one? It's the pedal 6/4 chord, huh? Okay. Yeah. The pedal 6/4 chord, right? Do you remember that one? Oh, we got some reviewing to do. Okay, we're out of time today, but this is where we will pick up next time reviewing for our test. Are we excited? A little nervous? We'll make it. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow at ear training.
Thanks, Doc.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Dr. B.
Okay.